Hello fellow old schoolers. So we have the second match of Jens Ole's BB-8 deck as we follow his travels throughout the tournament of Tron Wars. And I'm sorry I didn't put out any videos for the longest time. I've been really busy setting up a clinic in the city, so yeah, it's just taken all my free time. But yeah, things should be better now, and we are up and running again with a few videos. So yeah, let's go over the decks real quick here, and just to go over the matchup. In this second round, Jens Ole's opponent is from Aalborg Electric Eels as well. They play the same playing group as he's from and that I'm from, so it's a bit of a cannibalism here, sadly enough. This is I guess an Aggro-Control variant. You could call it Skies, I suppose. All the creatures fly. You have Serra Angels and Swedish B here. And then we have the white removal and blue cards for control, for counterspell and power. And then with 4 Cities of Brass and all 5 Moxen, it's able to splash into all colors with 1-off. So we have a Fireball as a late game finisher here, we have a Regrowth, and we have black power like the Demonic Tutor and Mind Twist. So 5 colored skies here, and very controllish. We have a couple of books for additional card advantage, and we see 2 recalls, and along with that Regrowth, it always indicates that you have very much a control variant here, where he will try to reuse all those restricted cards from his graveyard, and then overpower the other guy, gaining control and punching him down with some mid-range beaters. So in a way, this is it has elements from the deck actually, but it is more aggressive than that, with just a few more creatures here. For his sideboard, we have the 4 Divine Offerings. They'll likely get in, and we also have Circular Protection Red, and they will be crucial as well in this matchup. Also Blue Blast actually, so a ton of stuff he could put in here. He should probably take out some of his slower cards against such an aggressive burn deck like Jens Ole, perhaps going lighter on the recalls and stuff like that, because he won't have that much time. This game will usually be secured in the mid game one way or the other. Maybe the books will be a bit dangerous as well. It does require time to get those books up and running, and way more of a reactive play style, which might be difficult against Jens Ole. We'll see Jens Ole's deck here: BB-8, 4 Sushis, 4 Triskelions, and a couple of copy artifacts, actually 3 copy artifacts, rounds out the creature base here. And then we have the 8 burn spells, 4 lightning bolts, 4 sonic blasts, and yeah, it's mainly red and blue, and with a splash of black for the Abyss and Demonic Tutor and Mind Twist. Main deck City in a Bottle might be great here against the Serendipity Freaks and the Cities of Brass. Might be able to crack him out of his all those colors that he needs. Might make the opponent's mana base way more unstable. So I think more should be in there after sideboard. He also has Shivan Dragons he can put in after sideboard, in anticipation of the other guy taking out his Swords to Plowshares and 4 Divine Offerings. Then he won't have any answer against those Shivan Dragons. Though in this case he might have Blue Blast though, and if he takes that in, they will be great against the Shivan Dragons. You could also go a Blood Moon route here. The other guy had a lot of non-basic lanes, so that might be great as well. A lot of ramp here, 5 Moxen and a couple of Mana Bolts just to get those robots out nice and quick. Provide pressure early on, doing a lot of damage with the mid-range creatures, and then finishing the game with burn spells. And both decks are fully powered here: 5 Moxen Black Lotus and the 3 blue power cards, and both decks has the 2 black power cards. But yeah, this deck is way more focused, fewer colors, while his opponent splashes into everything. So this is the matchup. 2 cutthroat decks here. Let's see who comes out on top. And we have round 1 here. Jens Ole on the left on BB-8, and his opponent on the right, mulliganing down to 6 cards here. That's never the best feeling, but yeah, it's not a rare sight. 6 cards is still okay, especially when you have so many draw 7s as there is in this game. 2 from Jens Ole, and we also have a balance and a time twister. Anyway, Starting off here, Tundra into a Black Lotus, likely playing that immediately just to be able to counter. Oh, that's a black Library of Alexandria though. Now we didn't see a lot of outs against that Silverstone. Yeah, just ramping out a lot of mana here, trying to maybe get some big beaters out to put pressure on Jens Ole to force him to play cards so that he can't ride that library. He needs a Chaos Orb or a Strip Mine ASAP. I think Library of Alexandria is a Bolt here. Yeah, he can just draw Burn and just fling him at the opponent now. I think Library is usually the weakness of the deck, and also archetypes like this, because they don't have many answers. They have answers against everything else, but lanes tend to annoy these blue-white decks here, controlish decks. Okay, Sovereign coming out of BB-8. You should be mindful not to go out of library range. Yeah, Jens Ole draws immediately here, just to make sure that he is within it. Now shattering the Black Lotus or the Silverstone. Maybe forcing, shattering the Black Lotus. He sacks it immediately just for white mana, just to disenchant the Sovereign. Solid plays on both sides. This is done in order to keep the other guy back, so Jens Ole can ride the library even longer. And the other guy, cracking a Sol Ring against an early Sol Ring like this, and still keeping his blue mana up for counter magic. Okay, but there's a Workshop instead of the Sol Ring now, so still a lot of ramp. Drawing with the library, getting out of Sushi. It gets countered though. But the longer this game takes, BB-8 will have advantage from that Library of Alexandria, and we don't have many outs as said with a control archetype like this. Centipede coming out of the Aggro-Control. Oh, and it's just a recall at Aggro-Control's end step here. BB-8 just amassing a huge card advantage. We did see a Time Walk out of the Aggro-Control deck though. You might have enjoyed that more now. Scratch that, Sonic blasting the Sandy freed out. Jens Ole will have a lot of burn spells because he draws so many cards. Now discarding a card here. Just a regular island. Yeah, so we need a Chaos Orb or a Strip Mine, or alternatively a lot of threats out of the Aggro-Control deck, but Jens Ole will likely be able to handle those. As long as they don't have more than 4 in toughness, he can side blast them. Will Jens Ole push for the attack, or will he ride the library? Oh, he activates the factory and then copy artifact, and cast copy artifact. Then he attacks with the factory and pumps it with the new copied Mrs. Factory. So applying the pressure here, starting the attack run. This might seem overly aggressive when you're on library, but we should remember that Jens Ole is the beat down here. His deck is way more aggressive. The Aggro-Control deck might draw a book and then will actually be at parity pretty soon with the draw power. So I think attacking early and as fast as possible is Jens Ole's game plan, with a library or without. Now activating. No. Oh, okay. That's the factory war here. Attacking with both factories, but copying one of them before that, so that he can pump it. So now we now have 3 Mistress Factory, but 2 of them are copies. Serangel coming out. Okay, trying to weather the storm here. He might trade with a factory here, because Jens Ole can pump one of his factories into a 4/4. But the Serangel can attack and still be a defender, so it is a great creature in this situation. Oh, but it gets immediately side blasted though. Jens Ole just has all the answers here. So much burn. 3 factories swing in for 6 damage here. That's game. What? Just crushing him with Library of Alexandria. BB-8 takes the first match here. As said, Aggro-Control variants and the deck, they have a really hard time if the other guy gets a library. Don't have many outs against that. So as for sideboard, I went over that in the deck tech. I'm interested to see if Jens Ole would dare to take in his Shivan Dragons in anticipation of the other guy taking his Sword to Plowshares out, because he might see Blue Blasts, and then those Shivan Dragons will be suboptimal, I think. Anyway, this is round number 2. Likely see some Circular Protection Reds and some Divine Offerings out of Aggro-Control. Maybe BB-8 has taken in his second city in a bottle. That would be crucial. Ooh, no land drop, just a couple of mucks in here. That is incredible. Why? Factory coming down. Really dangerous to keep a hand like that without a... Did he have a land drop or was it a mucks? Hard to say with the way he keeps his hand like this. Yeah, just a mucks. White and red mucks. Keeping the hand. Oh, he had a strip mine here. Pretty wonky mana base it might be. So will he dare to attack with the factory? I don't think he should. The other guy will be packing lightning bolts and also have a defending factory. Fourth mana drop out of Jens Ole. He can play Sushis now if he wants to. Activating the factory, we might see another copy artifact. Oh, he strip mines that nice play. He strip mines the factory as the copy artifact gets dropped, so he needs to copy something else. He copies the red mox instead on the other side, putting a red dice on it just to indicate that it is a red mox. It is the only mox in play that Jens Ole can actually use here. Another factory getting down. But that time strip mine really put a spanner in the works of a BB-8 here, holding off the pressure. He would have had 3 factories now if he didn't do that. Now he only has 1. And BB-8 seems like a well-oiled machine here, just getting a land drop each turn, never missing a beat. Now Demonic Tutor. So will you go for Library or will you go for Ancestral Recall or will you go for Mind Twist here? The strip mine has been used. I actually think Library would be pretty cheeky, knowing that the other guy can't really answer it that well. Depending on how many cards Jens Ole has in hand. Oh, Mind Twisting his hand instead, that's also viable. Spending all his mana. Mind Twisting for 3. And he does this because the other guy might have a double blue mana next turn and will be able to counter. So just punching in immediately instead of waiting for the untap. Getting a Time Twist and a couple of Divine Offerings here. Nice harvest. The Time Twister would mitigate the Mind Twist if he didn't catch that. Then Aggro-Control could just play it this turn, and that way he would equalize the card advantage. I think an argument could be had for getting out of Library of Alexandria instead, but this is a solid play as well. Factory coming in out of Aggro-Control there, doing 2 points of damage while the other guy is tapped out, knowing that BB-8 can't really bolt. Oh, something big here. There's a Shivan Dragon. Okay, so Jens Ole took them in. Do we have a Source to Plowshares out of Aggro-Control? Has he sideboarded those out? This is really a gotcha moment usually. If the other guy doesn't anticipate this, Shivan Dragons, and he has 4 Shivan Dragons in a robot deck, is really a nice take, I think. Yeah, okay, no Blue Blast, no this, oh my god. We might look at a Shivan Dragon beat down here, just going in for 9 here, fire breathing all over Aggro-Control. That is a brutal punch in here. Ancestor Recall. Now we need a blue mana and a Blue Elemental Blast or Source to Plowshares, or this will be over. Black Lotus, that's one key element. Tundra. Do we have a balance or Source to Plowshares? Anything to save Aggro-Control, or will the Shivan Dragon just make the finishing move? Something gets out here. 3 mana. Recall. A play out of desperation here. We don't have anything in the graveyard apart from that Ancestral Recall. Cracking the Lotus. Yeah, just digging for anything here. Maze of Ith maybe. Something. I don't think he has Mazes of Ith, but no, he has also made a lane drop. He made the Tundra drop. Didn't get anything, so it seems another red mox here. Shivan Dragon comes in for 10. Then a Psy Blast, finishing the game. What a brutal ending here. BB-8 takes the second match with a surprise assault, with that switcheroo of the sideboard plane here really coming into effect. unanswered Shivan Dragon can finish the game so fast. We see his sideboard options here. Red Blast, Shivan Dragons. Was that a Flash Fire as well? Yeah. So, Jens Ole just going to town here with Shivan Dragons, winning the second match 2-0, making his sideboard strategy work here, his surprise setup. So we'll follow more of his games, and I also have a bunch of other games we need to go over from different kinds of tournaments and different matchups. Hope you enjoyed this quick and dirty game, actually. Just a stomping with Shivan Dragons. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next battle.